Hey everybody, welcome back to our Atlanta Thrashers rebuild. This first few minutes is going to be very yappy, but there's gonna be a few changes to this team, and also thank you for all the love on these recent videos of this series. I appreciate it very much, and if you are enjoying it, please leave a like and a comment down below on it. It is amazing from all the views and love from the series, but this team, I'm going to explain some of the changes, and we're going to make a couple trades here. First trade, it is just a simple shipping off this person, and they're going to go to whatever team. But that is for Menton, mostly because, yes, he's an 82 overall. Yes, he can still grow to potential, but in these 2 seasons of this team, he only had 15 points last season, a minus 15. He did get 27 points, but still a -1, and he has done nothing in the playoffs. 1 point in 10 games and a -12. So he is going to leave this team. I'm just going to do a fine trade for this, and he's going to some West Coast team, whatever team. Who's I mean, no. I'm thinking of a team, uh, possibly who could have a higher up third round pick. So was that a fourth and a fifth? From the Lightning, don't want to do that. Also a close rival. Even though the Panthers are our top rival, I'm thinking, you know what? He is going to go to the Winnipeg Jets. Thank you for your first couple seasons on the Atlanta Thrashers, but it's time to move on. Enjoy your last season in Winnipeg. Hopefully they give you a lot of money. The second trade, this is going to be a little bit of an explanation, but Brett, it's time for him to go. Just because this team is going, we're getting a new coach, and I want a little bit this defense, because looking at our age here, the oldest one will be Middleton, and he's a defensive defenseman. So is Brett. He's a defensive defenseman. I'm thinking, we have Viz, who's coming up, who is also a defensive defenseman, and I don't need 3 defensive defensemen. So this trade is going to be Brett. Then I am going to ship Valimaki. Last season, these two have been our top 7 guys. They're just coming in and out, and I think I think it is time to ship Valimaki, because we have Bjornfurt for another year. But Valimaki, it's time to move him on. Just the simple fact, because we have used him once for 31 games, even though it was a great 31 games plus 7 and all that. He didn't do much in the playoffs when he did come into the playoffs, and we used him in the AHL last year. Yes, 74 points in the AHL, great, but I just think he is going to help us with this trade. And then the final piece for this trade is going to be Dostal. Yes, he just grew to a low elite, but once again, we used him for 24 games last year. He's technically 8-10. We used him 1 game last year. He lost. He did come into the playoffs and have a 950 in the 3 games, but he's already 25. Yes, he did grow to a low elite, but how much more growth is there? And this is his final year, so I don't mind moving him on. And this team does want Brett. I'm throwing Valimaki in there because I will be taking somebody back. And then I'm throwing Dostal in there for them to have a backup goalie, because they want, this is the guy on the top of their block that they want to get rid of, and that is Yaroslav Askarov. Yes, medium goalie, 6'3", 23. This is his final year. Yes, he doesn't have a good record so far from just the simulation last year, but the save percentage is over 900. The 3 games in the playoffs didn't do anything, but a medium elite, and he only has 1 year. So if it doesn't go okay, we gave up Brett for him, But I have faith in Askarov by putting a good team in front of him. But this team this year is technically not going to be experimental, but is going to be a team. So when we draft people, because we have 7 picks in the first 3 rounds this draft, we have to hit on some. Excuse me, even more than that. We have 8 in the first 3 rounds. So I'm hoping that we can get some either medium or low elites, just a hope to grow them into NHL players. That's what I'm hoping, and because we have Reinhardt, Gensel, and Mikko Rantanen, I'm keeping Domi for this year, and we're gonna get into that. I want to still be competitive because we still have a competitive defensive core. I think we just need that goalie. Yes, Joel was great, but when he got to the playoffs, he disappeared. He went golfing early. So I would like to get a better goalie because this team is still competitive. Even though the last 2 seasons we have lost in 6 games, I still think we can be competitive. So Askarov, come on in, and then I will be taken back. Yes, they don't want to get rid of this player, but I think he will be a good bottom pairing on that third pair with Middleton. That's who I'm thinking of putting him with, and that is Alexander Carrier, offensive defenseman. Yes, it doesn't matter the pro scout assessment because we're changing coaches, but he has 1 year left. Top 4. He's already 28. But I'm giving them 2 defensemen. Brett, he can slide in with Yossi, while Dylan and McDonough can be on that second pairing, and then Valimaki can fit in there somewhere. So that I just rounded out their defensive core, and then they have X amount. They have 10 million or so to help fill out that team. I was hoping that maybe, we can squeeze out a 3rd-round pick next year, I'm hoping. Just an extra pick. I was going to go for a second, but obviously that's too much. I'm hoping that this is enough right here. Yes, I could take away Carrier, but I'm thinking he will do good on that D pair with Middleton on that third line. Offensive defenseman, defensive defenseman. And then you'll see the lines what I'm talking about. I'm hoping this trade goes through. Let's see. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success here in Nashville, so we are accepting your trade. Thank you, Dostal. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Valimaki, for your first 2 seasons on this team. But it's time to go on, and this can produce more storylines to it. But as you can see here, if we look at their lines, okay, you got Brett and Yoshi, a top pairing that can absolutely do something that can help them make the playoffs. That'd be great. Then you got Dylan and Fabro, and then on that bottom line, then you have McDonough and Valimaki, so you can figure out something there. They can get 6 or whatever defensemen. They still have Yossi for how many more years? I forget, 6 more years. So he's locked up. He's going to be their goalie for a while. And they have Dostal as a backup if anything goes wrong. And then their forward lines, that's up for them. So we made our trades. That's what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking here. This is our defensive pairing right here. Okay, Miller also got an X factor, as you can see. Quick pick, so that's great. That's one X factor. I'm hoping he can get a couple more. And if not, I'm hoping he gets at least 3. So I'm thinking Miller on that top line with Boquist. So that's going to be the top pairing. Then Romanov and Viz on that second D pairing, or maybe third line. But I want Romanov with him because 2 defensive defensemen together. We'll see. And then Carrier and Middleton. So that's what I'm thinking the lines are. And then we got Bjornfurt and Livingstone as the 7th and the guy to bring up if there's any injuries. because on the AHL side, I want all these guys here, even if they're AHL, I want these guys to get ice time down the AHL. Bish, I'm probably going to sign, possibly. And then now it's time to go on the offensive side. Going to free agency, we have $21 million to spend. But before we get into free agency, we're going to go to these contracts here. We do have Geeky as an RFA, so I am going to offer him a contract because I want him to be our third line center. So I'm only going to offer him 2 years because technically he is on free agency, and this isn't just re-signing them. So I do have to go a bit over. So I was thinking 2 for 2.4 for him. So he could be our third line center. Then let's go over here to free agency, and I will explain our future plan before we get to coaching. Yes, there's a lot of yapping. I won't put any overhead music or background music until I'm done explaining everything, so everything comes through, you can hear everything. Yes, could I go for Anze Kopitar, and would he be a great second or even first line person? Yes, but that's not what I'm going. Since this team is going through a transitional coach, we're transitioning into a new coach for the future, and we don't know who exactly fits on this team. Travis Frederick here, he could be our second line center. Move Domi, because he's a playmaker, to the outside. He can be our playmaker where we can either flip-flop him and Gensel on the first two lines. So, on that first line you can have Domi, Reinhardt, Miko. So, sniper, playmaker, or sniper two-way playmaker, so we can have that going. So there's not two snipers on that top line. Then you can have Gensel, Frederick, and somebody else I sign, or O'Connor. So we can have, a little bit of depth, and you can have O'Connor on the third line with Geeky and whoever else I sign. But primarily, I want why am I keep messing his name up? Sorry. Trent Frederick on that second line. He only wants 1 year, which is perfect. So I'm going to overpay him just a little bit to get him in here because I do want him, and that could bring our money down to, was that 14.7, 14.8, somewhere around that number. We still have enough to sign a couple players. You know what? Hell, I'll give you $1 million more. How about that? All right, Trent, hopefully you come in. That'd be great. For the fourth line center, I did want Colton Sissons just because that face-off and that defensive ability and all that. But for a $3 million for that, I don't think so. I'll wait to hopefully get him. I'll wait a week or so. But on that bottom line, yes, he doesn't have the face-off skill, but Noah Gregor, he could play center. He can move out to the left. So if I do get Sissons, he can play out on the left. That would be great for that bottom line. So Noah Gregor, let's sign you. And you only want 1 year, so I'll give you 1.8. So we'll lock you up. And just looking at a couple of players here, if we get Noah Gregor, and no one else that we can shop around to look for left wing for that bottom fourth line, Evans or Sissons. So those guys would still be there. And then for right wing, yes, we can go bring back Toffoli, but he wants $10 million. Crazy for somebody who's 33. Cam Atkinson, yes, we can bring him in and then be our top second line guy, but he's not really a sniper, so he's more of like a playmaker. I don't want to deal with that 2 years. We can bring in any of these guys, Bjorkstrand, 3 years, 2 years, but once again, our 1 year timeline, we could get Oshie, we could get Phil, but as you can see, they're both top 9 guys right now, so Yes, they're 84s and 83s now, but by the time the season comes around, they're most likely going to drop to an 80, 81, you know, or even drop during the season. So I don't, I still want a competitive team. Yes, we might not get the best draft pick, but there's still some young guys on this team that I want to grow, so I'm putting some veterans around them, just a couple. Kyle Palmieri, he only wants 1 year, which is perfect, and him and Connor can either flip-flop on that second and third line. They can play either or, and it's only 1 year. Florida wants him. We're not going to let Florida get him, and then possibly go up against them in the playoffs if we do make the playoffs, and then he comes and beats us. So Florida, get out of here. Yes, I'm overpaying, but 1 year, 4.4. I'm thinking that would be nice. Kyle Palmieri, beautiful. These are the four players that we're going for right now for the forwards. As you can see, Frederick to be that centerman, Kyle Palmieri to either be that second or third line right winger, or even left winger because he can play either side. Geeky for that third line, and McGregor for that, Gregor for that fourth line. The reason why I went for Askarov for the trade, yes, I could have gone out and went 7 years for Demko. He's already 29. He would have went up to 36. But in the 2 years of simming, yes, he had one good year, but then he had an average year. And in the playoffs, once again, didn't show up. Oh, no, excuse me. The year that they did make the playoffs, he just went 2-4 basically. He was there with save percentage, but not enough. What I think, and he wanted 7 years, so I didn't want to lock this team in long term for a goalie, paying him $8 million, if not more, for whatever team was offering him. That would have, that really could have came around and bit us. I could have went for Wall, taken a chance on him, but no. I was thinking between Askarov or Connor Ingram, just because in the 2 years that he did, yes, he had above 900 save percentage. He was a technically plus goalie, and he did show up in the playoffs the second season with a great save percentage. I just thought, paying a goalie $5 million for 5 years. Yes, I could have gotten him, but since we're in this 1 year period, if I could sign Askarov for a couple years and then trade him away for a goalie or see who's on free agency next year, I'm just taking the risk and putting it into the 1 year plan of seeing who we have, and who knows, whatever team signs Connor Ingram, we can see in the future. And then see in the future if it was a good idea, not a bad idea not going for him, or a good idea not going for him. Either or. As you can see, he sims. When he sims, he wins in the regular season and possibly in the playoffs. I just was thinking for Brett, trading him to the West Coast, the Western Conference, trading him away, and then getting something back. I could have gotten picks back for that, but I would have gotten just a couple seconds when I can get in a medium elite goalie and put a team in front of him who hopefully brings up his overall, and he also wins. So that was my idea for that. Yes, it's been 20 minutes of yapping and nothing so far, but here we go to the coaches. And looking through all the coaches, yes, Vandermeer, I could move him up and have him as the head coach for this team, but he does fit this team great with offense. He does. And his coaching and teaching, that could come up up into an A. He has that A for power play, which that coach is, which is good. But Brandon Gratton pretty much is the same. Brandon Gratton has that A coaching and A teaching. As long as the only B he has is penalty kill, but he has that coaching. Yes, Sam Reinhart, I believe that one is just a little bit less, I believe, off the top of my head. But our top guys that are on our team, so as we can see just from here, do fit him. And I believe the offense is pretty much the same, and he's also pinch shoot, just like that head coach. So I believe is to take a risk on signing Brendan Gratton just because of that teaching and coaching influence, and that will help grow our whoever we draft to come into this team. That's what I believe. So he wants 6 years. Atlanta, we have the money. I don't want to lose the possible coach of the future with this team. I will offer him 6 years for $4 million. Come to this team. And then for our assistant coach, yes, he's an associate coach, but he's a defensive coach. And I haven't found anything about teaching ability if that helps grows our defenseman on our team, even though he's an assistant or associate coach. But I do know that coach's spot is penalty kill, and he has an A+ penalty kill, and he's defensive. So, I mean, that's what you kind of want. What I think, I haven't read anything into if the teaching styles help grow our players if he's not a head coach. But he's been a head coach before, it looks like, and he has some winning experience, and he has a coaching influence of A and an A+ penalty kill. And the last few years with this team, the penalty kill, even though it's been pluses, for everything, it's still been bad. So I'm hoping to bring in a defensive coach that knows what he's doing, and our penalty kill can be hell. I hope even top 10 in the league. So, Regor, come on in, be the assistant coach. And another thing for coaches, I would like to get a new goalie coach for the NHL team, just because I don't like having all the D's in the coaching just as an A. I've read, just like before, the only thing that matters for goalie coaches apparently is teaching. But in the simulations I've always had, the best goalies and the best winning and all that I have gotten is with a goalie coach that has at least extra growth in all the other like offense, like he has. He has B- penalty kill, B- coaching influence, B- offense, and C for defense and power play. He still has higher attributes instead of just like E's and D's. I can't find anything online looking it up, but like the coaching spot for goalies, the only thing that matters is teaching. But all the years that I've played, all the simulations I've done, I found out the better that my goalie coach is, the better growth that my goalie has, better winning that my team does. So, yes, I'm going to fire the goalie coach that we have, but I would like to sign Yaras. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Radek Yaras. I want you to be our goalie coach, and I have no problem paying you the money to become our goalie coach. So please come in, help grow Askarov, maybe teach Joel something on how to win, how to even save a puck in the playoffs. So please come on in. Let's do the damn thing. And then for our AHL team, the associate coach, yes, this guy's a head coach, but once again, he does have A teaching and B influence, and I already have in my mind, this is how I've always gotten the best from simulating. You have at least one forward, defensive, and generalist or veteran, depending on how you build your teams, coach, and it seems like you get the best growth and simulating out of them. So he's a generalist. I already have an offensive or forward and a defensive coach in the AHL, and I would like a generalist coach, even though he's not the head coach. I believe he still helps with the growth of the team. So I would like you to come on in and be the associate coach for the AHL team. And then the last thing before we simulate along, Lang, thank you for your 2 years of being the goalie coach here, but it's time to move on from you. All right. So I'm done with all the yapping. I'm done with all the trades and everything so far. I'm going to save. I know I haven't touched anything with scouts yet. We'll get to that since we have to sign a few scouts, but we'll get to that. I'll explain a little bit of that too. But I want to sim a little bit and get some of our players in and coaches in so we can set this up. I know I've done a lot of talking. It could be boring, but I'm trying to share with you all the information that I know. So when you do your GM modes, you might learn something. But let's get into this. One day, it normally takes about, Grattan, welcome, the new coach. Brendan, we're going to do great things here, hopefully. But Brendan Grattan, our new head coach, he's looking to make an impact, and I'm looking to make an impact too. Thank you. $4 million, 6 years. Beautiful. We got our new assistant coach, Amir Regor. Thank you of your generous financial compensation. I accept. We're trying to build a winning coaching core here. Beautiful. Same thing with the goalie coach, Radik Yares. I gave him 1.5, 4 years. We're trying to build great things here. Same. I'm hoping that you can help with the staff chemistry too, but we just won an AHL Calder Cup, so, I mean, what could be the issue there? But our coaching core is done. Our staff chemistry is 81 for the NHL team, but as you can see, yes, I have 2 forward coaches just because this could be the backup plan. Say if Brendan doesn't work out, I can always go to Isaac because they technically have the same everything, just minus the teaching. So yes, what I said in the AHL is true, and also I'm stupid. I have 2 generalists down there instead of defensive. I'm gonna switch that out. Nah. It'll help with the growth there. But 2 A- coaches, 2 B- coaches in the NHL, we could do stuff. But Vandermeer, he could be the backup plan, or he could just help really grow our forwards. It's just, I wanted Grattan. I could have gotten a journalist coach, whatever, but I got a defensive coach, and if anything happens, Vandermeer, he could be the coach. If not, we'll get a different coach. Carol Krebs, yes, you were here, but for $1 million for coach with C and D. Yes, you helped us win a championship last year. I would like to go out and get a different coach for that. So thank you, Carl Krebs. It's time to move on from you. Tyrone Ross, I know you want to be an NHL assistant, but please come down to the AHL squad assistant. You were a head coach, but you went 3-19-3, it looks like. So maybe you need a second shot. No one's going after you, and I would like a defensive coach in my AHL coaching roster. So we'll bring him in. So we'll have a forward, generalist, and a defensive coach. And once again, enough yapping. I know this video is going to be a bit long, but it will just be the off-season and preseason. And then next video, we'll get right into the season going up to either January or the trade deadline. We'll see. But we still need to sign our players. No, thank you. Geeky, welcome back, Morgan Geeky. I'm extremely happy to accept your offer. Paul Mary, I'm extremely happy to accept your offer. Welcome. Noah Gregor is here. So we got 3 of our players. We're just looking for Trent. Trent, please join. Tyrone Ross, welcome. Thank you. That's great. Trent Frederick, welcome to the team. This is beautiful. I am going to save real quick. And then let's take a look at this team. Forwards core. All right. The first line, it could be Mikko, Reinhardt, Gensel, or Domi. We could flip-flop those two. So Gensel's on the second line with Frederick and Palmieri, or Connor, which they also both can play left and right. Then we got Geeky, and then we got Geeky on that third line with either Palmieri or Connor. I'm thinking Palmieri and Connor can move up to the second line just because younger, and he could still not have natural growth, but he could still have statistical growth because he's still listed as a top 6, so he could still go up. Then say like Geeky and Palmieri on that third line. I just need to find that third line left wing. Vinny, he's going to be one of the people on the bench that we bring in for injuries just because he can play right and center. Then for that fourth line, we have Noah and Radish. And then another person that we can bring in that is going to be injury person is Gutman. Ruslan, you're down in the AHL to help grow our AHL people like Basha, which is going to be one of our future players. Grow Basha and Yaskolov Ulavanov. I hope I pronounced that right. But our first round pick, he's the top 6, so you guys can help grow him. But yes, I'm still looking for that third line left winger and possible fourth line left winger if we can permit it, if we have enough money for that. Let's go back into free agency and take a look. Yes, we do have enough money for Tyler Toffoli, but I don't want him. Who is going after him, though? Washington and Seattle. Please, Seattle, take him. I don't want him in the East, where it can come back and hurt us possibly in the future. For that fourth line, the center can either be Gregor or I might go Tyson Jost here, just because of the 1-year contract. We'll give him 1.95. And then for the third line left winger, there's a couple people I was thinking here, but once again, top 9 forward. Their overalls could drop a little bit. I was thinking for that third line, I was going to go Connor Garland just because, he can fit there. But in the 2 years of simming, even on a good team like Vancouver, almost a -20 both years. Matthew Joseph, whatever, each way that you say it. Solid stats all the way around, can play right and left side, has decent shooting category, physical, skating doesn't matter during actual simulating, but when you jump into the game, it does matter. It was a +5 last year, even though he only played 48 games, but yes, the 1 year he did play, he was a -20. I'm going to take a risk on him because he has a top 6 potential. Even though he's 28, he's 82. He could, if we have a good year, he can get up to like an 83, 84 by playoffs. That could happen. Yes, he wants 2 years. I'm going to give him a year for, let's say, 2.15. Defense, yes, we already have, our 6th or 7th person that could come in. I could sign anybody off of here, but we have that filled in. And the AHL, we already have 3 goalies. Yes, they're not 70 overalls, but I would like to have them grow as well. Yes, we can bring back Caden, but let another team pick him up. We have 2 more people that we have contracts for, so let's bring those people in. Joseph, welcome to the team, and Jost, welcome to the team. All right, now that we have our forward core and players done, we have a couple AHL people that I believe don't have contracts yet. So let's see what in the system is. Do we have anybody without contracts? Yeah. Auckland, let's sign you, or Eklund. Let's sign you. Bishop, let's sign you for the AHL team. Just sign everybody. That would be the depth for the AHL team. Yes, I know, not great overalls, but we have a few for the AHL team. that could really work out. Gutman's going to be up there, so we could have a good team down there. Decent team, not one that's going to win the championship, but a decent team. Next is scouting. If you want to see this, go ahead. If you skip over it, I don't mind. But we only have, let's see, look at scouts here. I do want to get an NHL scout just for trades and stuff like that. But WHL, we should get another scout. Let's see here. Oh, a lot of teams are going after him. But how is he in the WHL? Good. And then, what's the other stat? Where is it? He's a bunch of C's. Where is it? I guess you can't see it in this screen, but it is what it is. You know what? I'm going to go after this guy. Why not? Close St. Louis. We'll get him in there for the WHL. WHL. And then even though this guy is a D, region familiar evaluation, WHL, you only want 2 years. You know what? Who are the best scouts available? All regions. We got B- for the AHL. What are you for the WHL? Let's find somebody good for the WHL. That's good. We'll get you for the WHL. Because you can move these guys around because they can evaluate better. So we'll move him to the WHL. Now for the Q. Let's look for somebody for the Q. D-, B, B. Oh, there we go. Lynch. We'll get you for the W, or the Q. We'll get you for the Q. It's 3. We got you for the Q. We got one for the. We got 2 for the W. Let's look for the OHL. What did we got for the O? Boom. Here we are. Sophia. We'll get you for the O. And then Europe. What do we got for Europe? Let's just start here. Where's Europe? Europe. Am I stupid? Where's Europe? Oh, it's that. There it is, Europe. I'm stupid. It's at the bottom. Peter. Peter's great for Europe, even though it's Nordic. Europe. We'll move him to the Europe side. And then we got 5, so we got 3 more slots. I do want an NHL scout for this year. So when we work on trades, we know exactly who we're going for. So you should have an NHL scout, even if you have Fog of War turned off. It will. Everybody in that area will be scouted no matter what. So even if you're going, everybody that you're looking to trade for, even though you have a coach, it'll take multiple years for that person's stats to come through if they will fit on the team. If you have at least an NHL scout within that first year, everybody that's been in that division will be unlocked. So I would like at least 2 NHL scouts. So, and I will both put them in the West. So when I'm trading, we'll get those guys in. So we have 7 scouts now that will be coming in. I'll adjust them off camera. You can change the region and what place they scout for. St. Louis, welcome. Mironov, thank you. Lynch, thank you. Jenner, thank you. Peter, thank you. Caleb Woolen, thank you. Christensen. Wow, I'm butchering that. Thank you. And then we get a couple more scouts. How many do we have left? 1 more spot. Where should we put it? What do we got? Got 2 in Europe too. Oh, I got no. Those are the Q people. I'll save that for off camera. I'll just sign 1 more scout. It's already been a long video. A lot of yapping. Not so much simming, but we had a huge off season for setting up for the future. So let's sim to next season. I will sign scouts and all that off camera, but let's get to the next season. Okay, here we are, the start of season 3, even though it's not the preseason yet. I set up all of the lines. I want to show you the lines just real quick on what we're thinking. So at the beginning of the year, I do want to start off with the top line still intact because it is a +5, but later on, maybe we can drop down Gensel to that line and then maybe move around something. Maybe bring up Palmieri or what it is. The second line, yes, I know it doesn't have that much chemistry, or even do this, move that around. That might work out. But as of right now, this is what the lineups are looking like. Gensel, Reinhart, Mikko Rantanen, Domi, Frederick, Connor, Joseph, Geeky, Palmieri, Gregor, Jost, and Radish. Then defense. This is what the defensive pairing is. Yes, there's no line chemistry boost yet, mostly because no X factors. And also, the coach is pinch shoot, not pinch cycle. So I kind of blundered that when I was looking at the coach. I could be stupid sometimes, and I messed that up just a smidge, but it is working so far. Miller with that one X factor is great. I hope he gets another couple. Boquist, I put him up there because he is still technically a low elite, so he could still get better, and I'm hoping for a good season from that. Then I got Viz and Romanov on that second pairing line. Got that Russian connection going. And then Middleton and Carrier on that bottom line. So we have D depth again. I know it's not the high 80 overalls, but it's mid 80s and everybody can still grow. Boquist can get to an 86, 87 hopefully. Miller can get even higher hopefully. That would be absolutely great. Carrier and Middleton are kind of locked in. Power plays. We got this top line going, and then the second line I doubled up on Reinhart and Rantanen, and then I threw Carrier and Miller in there. So our power play could be dangerous. Second power play, third power play. Penalty kill is looking good. We got Geeky and Jost on there. Viz on the first penalty kill, and then Romanov. Keep that pairing together. Then I got Miller and Carrier together, just because Miller also fits penalty kill strategy. So that gives us also a +1. Then the third penalty kill is Boquist and Middleton with Palmieri and Frederick. The third lines, it's just a bunch of centers, extra lines. It kind of matters. Does it? Does it not? And then goalies, Askarov grew to an 87 overall. So we got him at an 85, and he grew to an 87. So hopefully that helps with the simulating, and that's what I meant. He could be the franchise goalie still at 23, and he can continue to grow. He can get up to a 90 plus, about 90 overall, depending on how good we sim. That's why I wanted to still have a competitive team. Scratched, we got Vinny, Gutman, and then Bjornfurt for that defense. So that's the team. AHL team is something else. I'll go over that in next episode. I'll set up the scouts. And then one last thing. We haven't had a captain on this team. It keeps giving it to Gensel every year. But I'm thinking on giving it to Sam Reinhart because he showed up both playoffs, got some points. So I think he should get the captaincy. Our first captain, Sam Reinhart. Gensel, thank you for being there, but I'm going to give Mikko, keep messing that up, the other A, and then Miller, he's still our other alternative. Also, on our defense, Viz, number 36. What number do you think Viz should be on as a defensive defenseman? What defensive number do you think he should be? Because 36, yeah, that kind of works, but he could be a different number. Another number on defense, but that's what I'm, just messing around with that. But Reinhart, our first captain. Let's go over to edited players just to see what it looks like. Where is Sam? Let's take a look. Here he is. Playmaker. Does that look good? First C for Sam Reinhart. Not bad, right? Contract is up this year, and I don't know if he'll stay with this team. He does want a contract extension, which works out great, and we could this franchise guy up for 6 years. We can get him for 6 years for $10 million, $60 million contract. Please, Rantanen, the 10% thing. I'll still give you 6 years at 2.5. Lock him up, the franchise guy. Wow, this episode is huge. Huge change. Well, I set up some of the scouts. We're gonna advance past the preseason. I gave Mikko a huge contract. Sam Reinhart's our new captain. Let's see what happens here. Does Mikko sign with us? I signed a different scout because I sent them out. Mikko, you gonna sign? Mikko Rantanen, we locked him up long term. We got our franchise guy. This is huge. We got a 94 overall proven guy for $10 million a year. That is massive. That is massive. That could make this franchise. That really could make this franchise, because it doesn't make Gensel expendable, but we could use Gensel to help build this team even more, because we got Mikko and Sam pretty much our long-term guys. We got Sam for another 4 more years, and then we locked him up for another 6, so we got him for 7 years. Those could be our top 2 guys for a while. We can find that extra pairing for that top line or the second. This could be huge. What a huge offseason. I am just going to sim through this preseason here. Just get through this. We're done with preseason. We finished 5-0-3. What a massive offseason. This has been great. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. What a huge season 3 we got upcoming. This is not what I expected, not what I planned, but this is what it is. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the start of season 3. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.